How does someone ready themselves to be able to see what's in the vortex? Well, you take pieces of things that you know you like, and you talk about them steadily with the interest of gathering momentum. So you take a subject of importance, and you don't try to make it more than it is, and you don't try to make yourself believe it more than you do. You just take something that you already believe, that already makes you feel good, and you focus upon that until momentum begins. And you can feel yourself then, literally, we're not kidding you about this even a little bit, following this stream of impulses and thoughts that come to you. It's like a treasure hunt. But the thing that is most interesting about it is that you have put all of the treasures there. You just don't recognize them in their current form. And the reason that you don't recognize them in their current form is because they have amassed with the other things that you've asked for. And law of attraction has gathered the other cooperative components to them. And in the process of all of that, they have become so much more. So the question is, as your desires have been in the process of being tended by your inner being and have become so much more, what are you then doing along the way? Are you talking against yourself? Are you wondering why things aren't happening? Everyone does to some extent. Yeah. But so this is what you want to find, just anything that is easy for you to feel free-flowing and joyful about. And just for a little while, give that your undivided attention. And then what happens, you get into that receiving mode where impulses begin to occur to you, and then wonderful things unfold. And so the answer to your important question is, if it feels good, keep thinking about it. And when you start getting tense about it, don't think about it.
So the idea would be to think about something which I feel good about it, as long as I really feel good about it.
Do you know what an even better answer is?
Mm-hmm.
Trust that you've already put it in the vortex.
Okay.
And trust that it is in the process of becoming. And then think only about things that feel good to you. Okay. Our friend demonstrated that just now.
Yeah.
Just think only about what feels good to you. Because when you think about the things you want that aren't happening yet, you're thinking about the things that aren't happening yet, and that's what you're adding emphasis to. Mm-hmm. So think about if it feels good, and don't think about it. Here's the way we like to explain this. You have 5 things that matter to you, 5 important things. 4 of them not going so well yet in terms of manifestation, going really well in terms of the vortex, in there growing, expanding, inner being reveling. But as far as you're concerned, 4 things not going that well, 1 thing going well. If you could focus only upon the 1 thing going well, then you would establish and maintain a vibrational frequency that would be receptive mode, and the other 4 things could then begin turning thoughts to things. And the more you focus upon what makes you feel good, then the more momentum you gather about that. And the more momentum, the more established the connection. This is a wired microphone. Esther loves this wired microphone. This wired microphone is sure. The other microphones usually work, but they're not sure. Okay. Mm-hmm. So you got to plug in to your microphone in order to hear what's being broadcast to you, or to transmit in a way that is meaningful, that is one who is connected to this stream of energy is more powerful than a million who are not. So why would you spend any time doing anything other than plugging in? So your friends say, what are you doing? Plugging in. What does that mean? It means I'm getting happy. You got your work done? Nope. What are you going to do about your work? Nothing. Well, I'm doing my work. My work is to get plugged in. What do you mean? Be happy. But don't you have work to do? Nope. Well, I just have a little bit of work. That's to get plugged in. Well, you got your work done? Nope. I'm just plugged in. Because I already did step one, you could tell them. Don't bother, because they won't get it. But I already did step one. I already did the work. I was born, I saw, I wanted. That's my work. That's my work. And every day, I get to add more to that. I am expanding at rapid rate. I'm expanding. My desire is expanding. That's my work. Step one, it's done. Step two is done. Step two, law of attraction, my inner being gathered all of the cooperative components and it's ready for me. What are you doing? Plugging in?
Plugging in.
Plugging into what? Getting into the receptive mode. What? Into the receptive mode so that I can feel the impulse. So that I know when to get in my car and go somewhere. So I know when to place a phone call. So I know when the impulse comes to say that thing that the impulse has given to me. What else are you doing? Not anything else. Not anything else. Waiting for the impulse. Now, your employers may not appreciate our encouragement to you, but it is our promise to you that if you accept that you have put things in your vortex and that they are big and beautiful and ready for you, and that the more playful you are and the more happy you are and the more in love you are and the more easy you are and the more free feeling you are and the more happy you are, the more often you will be plugged in, and then you will feel the momentum increase until there will be an energy around you that just attracts to you, not just occasionally and not just at the end of the trail, but all the way along, impulses and guidances to rendezvous with things that surprise and delight you all the way along. And yes, the manifestation will come too. And when it does, you'll say, oh, hello, I recognize you. I've been finding pieces of you all along my trail. And I'm so happy to see you. What now? Okay. And as you jump in to the realization and the eating up of this new manifestation, you know what? You're back in step one again. Because there's going to be new contrast there that's going to put more into the vortex. So you're not ever going to get it done. No. And you cannot ever get it wrong. But you can hold yourself. We won't do it again. It's upsetting to those with headphones on.
Okay.
Do you know? I want to tell you something really important. Your inner being never looks back. And when humans do, you're usually justifying where you're standing. That's usually the reason for looking back. But your inner being doesn't look back. Your inner being knows where you are in relationship to everything you want and is looking forward. And so when you're in sync with your inner being, those are the impulses that you feel. Step one, step two, step three. You know what step four is? Being really good at step three. Odd that we would give it its own whole step. But the reason that step four is such a good step, even though it's exactly like step three, it's just better at it, is because it's the consistency that is necessary before the thought can really get enough momentum going that you get the idea, and that when you get it, you don't kill it with your doubt.
Okay.
So when you get it, you just revel in it. You think about it, you feel it, you talk about it, but you don't need it to manifest right now. That's what kills your desires most quickly. You get the idea of them, and then right away you want to jump into action before there's enough momentum to carry you. And so when you jump into action before there's enough momentum to carry you, what happens is you have to apply more action, and then you get exhausted because you're trying to compensate for what you didn't do with something that doesn't work anyway. Don't try to compensate for not plugging in with action, because it just makes you tired, and it causes you to build a foundation of beliefs that just piles more engines on the resistant end of the train.
Or the other...
Makes perfect sense to you, doesn't it?
The other situation which I live very often is that I am trained to imagine how things can go wrong. It is a part of my job. So when I have a desire, then...
Well, you could say that you are trained to see problems in advance.
Yep.
Esther is too. In other words, she's not going to leave you not hearing.
Yeah.
There's another one behind the curtain, and another one behind the curtain, and another one behind the curtain. In other words, there was no possible way that Esther was going to come here and see all of your beautiful faces and you not be able to hear what is going on. And so, are you looking for problems, or are you on the hunt for solutions? Can you find an answer if there isn't a question?
No.
And can you discover the thrill of a solution if there isn't a reason for a solution?
Okay.
You just don't want to. You just don't want to. So now you're leading us wisely without even knowing you're doing it. It's an inspiration that's coming from you. You're leading us right into the next thing that we were about to say to you, and that is step 5. Step 5 is being back in step 1 and not being mad at yourself. Step 5 is understanding the importance of the contrast and not looking at it as a failure, knowing that if you don't ask the question, there can't be an answer, and if you don't see a problem, there can't be a solution, and if you don't know what you don't want, you don't know what you do want. In other words, it is so important, this contrast that helps you focus.
Yeah,
and the reason that you are so good at your job is because you are a focuser towards solutions, you see. Mm-hmm. We enjoyed this interaction. Is there something more?
That was very, very helpful. Yes, yes. So basically...
Don't be annoyed with him, because he is getting the basics out for you in a very profound way.
So, two things. First, then, you helped me see something which is considered a weakness as a strength.
Yes.
So basically the idea... I cannot find solutions.
Say that again. What I saw as a weakness is a strength. What I saw is something not wanted, contrast, as an advantage. What dreams and manifestations are made for. Negative emotion is a bad thing. No, a good thing. Guidance about which way you're focused. Mm-hmm. And understanding is everything. When you understand, now you have power. But if you don't understand how the universe works, and you don't understand what vibrations are, and you don't understand what resisted, contradicted vibrations feel like, and you don't understand what being plugged in feels like, then you have no power. But when you do, even when you're standing in a negative place, you are still empowered, because you know it's just going to take a little focus on something to plug me back in. And when I get plugged back in, then the juices get flowing, and the better I get at that, I'm step 4, and I'm step 4, and I'm step 4, and I'm going to do step 4, step 4, step 4. I'm good at step 4 because I want to feel good. That's the reason, isn't it? No, it's not your reason, but it's the reason we want to be your reason. You want to feel good. Don't do it for the manifestation. Do it for the feeling good.
Okay, so
if you could accept feeling good, if you could hear this one thing. Strange we offer so many things when there's only one thing we really want you to know. Plugging in is all that matters. Because your vortex is full. You are supported by the energy that creates worlds. And when you find soft thoughts, sometimes you have to look a little bit for them, because if your mind is flooded with thoughts that don't feel good, you need a nap. You need something to break that cycle of attraction. And when you sleep, that cycle of attraction is suspended. When you sleep, your momentum does subside. And then that soft thought that feels good can gather more momentum, and then you can be in the receptive mode. Did you earn it through hard work? No. You found it because you were looking for something that felt good. And then the magic begins. And then in time, you know it, you begin to notice the correlation between how you're feeling and what happens next, and how you're feeling and what happens next. We're always offering our energy to you, nonstop. The question is, are you plugged in?
I try most of the time.
Really good.
Thank you. That was very helpful.
Really good.